All right. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting week of Osborne Motors Endurance Challenge. I'm Fettuccini once again bringing you the on-track racing action. We are here with our Shakedown week this week at Daytona on the road course, naturally, as we get set for another exciting season of OMEC, back to GT3s only this season. So a litany of new drivers and old coming back to drive with us this season. Love to see some of the faces we haven't seen in a little while. And all the faces that I have known and loved over the past few weeks. I've refreshed the overlay with a couple more details of some drivers jumping into qualifying late. And despite my best efforts, there's no LMP class this season. GT3 Pro and Am classes, alternating sprint enduro format, starting with our shakedown of an endurance format. Week 1, we'll see a sprint race back here at Daytona, as well as, I believe, we're going to the beautiful, I say beautiful loosely, the beautiful land of, where's my message? Thought I had it on hand. Mosport. Oh man, what a way to start out this season with these two classes, or these two tracks next week. This week, however, 90 minutes of racing at the Daytona road course. A legend amongst endurance racing for its lengthy tenure, is the staple and start of the calendar season of endurance racing. There's like this one and then the 24 hours of Dubai in like 2 weekends time. It's nutty. It's a great way to start out the year. We're in qualifying, halfway through it. And I waited until we were halfway through it to see if Marcus would in fact show up. So far, I've heard nothing from him. So all of you that were looking and excited and hoped to see Marcus back in the booth, we have to wait a little bit longer because he's still not here. But we have a ton of new faces and people that I haven't seen in a while diving back into this race with us, especially as we get into the solo, not single class, not solo, but single class racing instead of multi-class action that we saw for the past few seasons. And this season, we're diving back to where it all starts, where it all begins, the core aspect of what makes OMEC at the moment, which is the GT3s, the GT3 League. This is how it was when I started driving with them, and it's how it's gotten back to be. Take you through a lap here. I think we're right along board. Let's find somebody who is. We just finished a lap. Patrick Cantrell. You shouldn't be there. This track doesn't go that way. Let's ride along board with Nate Sides. I'll take you through a lap here real quick. Ideally, turn number 1, a nice winding closing hairpin that you no longer can take an esports line through if you're in like the GTPs. You shoot back out on the track, a nice chicane in turns 2 and 3. Turn 4, another hairpin. The infield section, as it's often referred to as a collective, first of 2 hairpins or horseshoes. You have the international one and then another one that I can't name. I think that one's technically the one I can't name. Anyhow, kink, turn number 5. A great place to be. Let's pull that track map. You can see where everybody's at. Currently the leader of GT3 Am, at least if I'm understanding my Pro-Am split correctly. Barely holds on to it. Was able to do so. Back onto the binders to jump out of the infield section and onto the oval. NASCAR turns 1 and 2 up ahead. It's such a fun course because you get this like nice break of intense infield running with a nice breather on the outside. No less stressful during the race though, between these two. And you're going to be hard on the binders right at the green light before you go in for the chicane. Way less cool now that it's all tarmac and not all, and those inside curbs will throw your car. I have learned this trying to drive the LMP3 over them in my own practice for the Roar Before the 24. With that, we round out a lap coming through NASCAR 3 and 4. The Le Mans chicane, or the bus stop, whatever you want to call it, is where that is in a lap. Done and dusted, 1 minute and 45 seconds, or 1 minute and 44 if you're rapid. Taking a look throughout the field, tight competition all throughout. Nate Sides, who we were looking on board for the GT3 AM podium or lead, which I'm hopefully is held by that, but he is 7th overall, and there is plenty of battling up and down the order. In the meantime, a good handful of drivers in both classes. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anybody from my roster of who gets displayed on screen. So far, so good. Only had a couple of last-minute changes, and of course, whenever I hit that button, it has to reset it anyway. So, 90 minutes of endurance racing, full fuels, which means this will be a one-stop race somewhere in the middle. Might take tires. You'd definitely be in the box long enough, I think, to take tires with how much fuel you need to put back into the car. So it's really whether or not you want fresh tires to go to the end of the race, or you want to keep some warm but used rubber to keep on there. There's many schools of thought around that. We'll see how all those play out. Pit strategy, pretty simple with this one. Patrick Cantrell looking up the inside to get another lap in the books. About half a second between himself and Andre Saba just up the road. Andre Saba notably said was sitting out this season, so curious if we're going to see more of him than he has led us to believe tonight. Well, with being here tonight. But with all that, I still have no word from Mr. Osborne himself, the namesake of the league, as the qualifying reaches its final 10 minutes. The rest of the schedule, as I'm talking about some other things, going in the tail end of qualifying and the excitement that has yet to unfold. Take a look at the team's roster. See who signed up for the teams. Ooh, got 2 Stellar Motorsports teams this season. Prestige Motorsports back for William LeMaster and Luc Plaisance. Project Zoomies once more. Tyler Roberts, Patrick Cantrell back at it again. Speaking of, who we're riding on board with as we continue on around another lap. Misters Inc. with Nick Terrell and Kelvin Collado, as well as Kevin Hayes getting the Checkers or Wreckers name down, which I'm curious to see if we have still the with how the settlement out of court happened between Checkers or Wreckers and the legally distinct team that was once called also Checkers and or Wreckers. I'm curious to see how that plays out for these drivers. Got a whole host, I think pretty much every manufacturer available in this series, minus the Audi, currently sees themselves on the grid. Even an Acura with Colin Olson, who is out tonight, or who's out driving tonight. So, as we get underway, look through the team's settings, the schedule. For those of you who are audio listeners, Kyle Horowitz requires a meatball. I kind of want to see what happened to Kyle Horowitz. Doesn't show me. How dare it not show me anything I want to know. Oh well. This week, is our shakedown with the Daytona road course. Next week, we are back with Mosport and the Daytona road course once more for a sprint race. We are in the lead-up weeks to the Sim Endurance. Excuse me. I'm looking at too many things at once. Doing a great job. Thanks for doing the broadcast. As always, I assume you are one Mr. Kenny Duval. Who is currently sitting 14th overall, I believe. A little bit further up in class. Yeah, 4th in class. Look at that. And oh, sorry, before I got distracted with chat. Daytona road course. That's why we're here this week. It's why we're going to be here next week. The Daytona 24 is the following weekend after our first sprint week. The Roar Before the 24 is in like 3 days' time. It is the biggest, numerically, sim racing event currently existing that sees, I think we had over some like, not quite 100,000, but like a huge number of sim racers turn out for the Daytona 24 last year. Me and the endurance team I'm a part of, Tabula Rasa Esports, led home a win and a win in our split, and then our team took home a podium in another split, if I'm remembering correctly, for the 24, as Landon Orr gives a quick blink because we're riding along with him at the moment as he's wrapping up a lap to see if he can set himself up on the board, along with I believe Chris Kraus right behind him trying to improve. Landon Orr will get the 148.680, definitely a reconnaissance lap for himself. Yeah, with that, oh, that's a spun. That is a very spun Chris Kraus. What happened there? And a spun Landon Orr. Where did Landon go off track? Oh my gosh. Okay. There's a spin out of Matt Bate. That's not it. Nicholas Maynard, was that who I saw? Yeah, that was who I saw. Or at least I think that's who I saw. So, oh no, that's already once all of that has happened. Nick Terrell, maybe? Nope, he's in the Porsche. Kevin Hayes. There it is, Kevin Hayes in that. I don't know why I could not find that again. Gets a spin there. Slides it around. Oh, and then Chris Kraus just sympathy spins, but Kevin Hayes, just hip checks. Landon Orr. Qualifying drama. And then toes. And then Nicholas Maynard just abandons the course to make sure that he does not crash as we get through the last few minutes of qualifying. But yeah, so it's a big event. That's why we're going here. That's why we have it twice on the calendar this season to start out the season 13 of OMEC before we go to Zolder on the 20th. Navarra and Barcelona the following weekend of the 27th. Third is going to be Bathurst just before its 12-hour endurance race in February, which is going to be super cool. The one I am excited for the most out of the endurance calendar year is usually the Bathurst 12-hour. That and maybe the Bathurst 1000 this year because they actually get to do it. So it's going to be a good schedule. We have an off week after that. Sprints at the NERB Grand Prix Circuit and Hockenheim Ring for the 17th of February. Endurance at Suzuka with Watkins Glen and Barber Motorsports Park on March 3rd. And then Interlagos, a wet race to round out the 8-week season. There we go. Couldn't remember if it was any longer or shorter. So, with that, William Master still trying to get a faster time in, currently sitting on pole by mere 700ths to Michael Doyen, who currently sits in P2. Michael Doyen and his teammate for Veterans United, Richard Costanza, showing that they spent a lot of time at the Nürburgring Nordschleife during our off season, which was super cool to see. I've had a lot of fun at the Nordschleife recently, speaking of. We had our season opener for IMSA Vintage take place there, which was a riot. And then Porsche Cup was there this week as well, which was a bit more hectic in a less enjoyable sense. But with that, it's exciting. I think there's darn near every car that I currently drive is at the Nordschleife at some point this season. I think the Lotus 79s were this past week, and I absolutely missed my opportunity to rip the Formula One cars. Maybe we'll go there in the if we do the Vintage Grand Prix Tour again. Marcus is still at work, so he will join us when he can. Taking a look as well throughout the rest of the roster. Nicholas Maynard, we saw him, and Dan Griffin a couple seasons back. And there's both of them right there. Trying to get their way up the order. Currently sitting at 145.85 for Dan Griffin and 145.97 for Nicholas Maynard, with a Richard Costanza intersecting the two of them, the GT3 AM driver. If I go to overall, what happens if I do this? Ooh. It does show them accordingly. That's interesting. Neat. Well, we'll have to swap between the two then. See you guys. So, qualifying coming to an end. The last few drivers going to make their way across the start-finish line to improve their lap times if they can. Well, Nate Sides and AM. That is what is listed in the league. So, if that's not how it's supposed to be, the league admins should probably update drivers that are not in the correct class to the class they should be. Because on my side, it says that Nate Sides is in AM. Also, if we have a roster floating somewhere that is easily accessible or up to date, more up to date than this may be, that also works. It is definitely tagged as pro. Okay, cool. Then it's not on my side. Interesting. Why is that not like that? All right, well. Nate is definitely tagged as pro. Well, Nate is now also tagged as pro here as well. Once he gets it replied. We're going to start by next week. All right, all good. It's probably on my end. As soon as it goes back. Is it going to come back? No? Nope. It's that. Oh, there we go. Nate Sides. Black flagged to the end off the race. Why did I? Oh well. I'm curious if any other of these wrong. Doesn't look like it. Looks like the rest got sorted correctly. It was a one-off. Well, thank you for catching it. All right. Soon here, once I think we get done with qualifying, which we're still in the tail end of, we will see where everyone is slotted to start our race here. In just a moment's time, a grid forms as we get set to go for 90 minutes of endurance racing. If I don't blame finish top 8, I am blaming it on the McLaren not being meta. Certainly not the driver. Sounds good, Kevin Hayes. I will absolutely allow you to blame the car. Because definitely the meta's problem. Anyway, to lead us off, William Master is going to go in first alongside Michael Doyen, Dion Tovar, and Jason Larson rounding out row number 2. Mitch Buenaventura, Tyler Roberts in row number 3. John Schwartz and Nate Sides in row number 4. Rounding out the top 10, Nicholas Maynard and Kevin Hayes. In 11th and 12th is going to be Dan Griffin and Andre Saba. 13th and our GT3 AM leader, Richard Costanza, going to lead alongside Luke Plaisance, Tom Leeson alongside Nick Terrell, Kenny Duval, alongside Patrick Cantrell for 17th and 18th, 19th and 20th, running out the top 20, Chris Kraus and Matt Markley, Zach Holden, Joshua Harless, Kyle Orovets, Hayden Mamenga, if I've got that correct, as well as Matt Bear, Landon Orr, DJ McAteer, Colin Olson, Tim Schaefer, and Jason Scott round out the 30 GT3 cars on the grid. We got a little bit of everything. Let's see what I got. I got Porsches all up at the front. It sounds like they might be the meta that Kevin Hayes is definitely not saying that is rigged in not his favor. Jason Larson in the Corvette, Tyler Robertson in the Ferrari, Nate Sides in a Ford, a McLaren out of Nicholas Maynard and Dan Griffin. Ooh, interesting. Interesting to see the Lamborghini being a big one there. Kevin Hayes in the McLaren. What else we got? Ken Duval in the Mercedes AMG GT3. And Tim Schaefer in the Aston Martin. Was Tim Schaefer on this roster? No, yeah, he is. Okay. I just, for some reason, did not see him. All right. We're getting set to go racing here. 90 minutes of on-track action to lead us off. The Ford Mustang pace car will lead us away. We have the red lights that'll come up on the board for us. For them, it is a green flag that will drop in just a moment's time. For those drivers, they have to wait until the green flag if you're new to OMEC and how driving happens here. Will Master will have the inside line going into turn number 1. The rest of the field will follow. No idea if we get a safety car or not. If we do, I believe I know the procedures well enough to at least hand jam my way through them. So, with that, the field bunches up. 30 cars all in there. The pace car peeling in. William Master waiting for that green flag, which flies right now, and a great launch from him over Michael Doyen. Michael Doyen going to end up alongside Dion Tovar for the second row and leaves him plenty of room. Dion, of course, also braking early. Big old checkup in the middle section, but everybody seems to get it all sorted as we work our way through turn number 1. All 30 cars going to make it their way around, but how will turn number 4 fare? Our first are 2 horseshoes or hairpins, depending on what you want to describe them as. We'll see a lot of the front runners there. Nicholas Maynard up 2 positions. Tyler Roberts dropping down 2 in that Ferrari as they go through the kink for the first time. Cold tires. They're going to have to lighten up the amount of throttle they give into that corner. Andre Saba fighting alongside Nick Terrell in that Ace Tech Sim Sports Porsche. As we get through the first couple corners, Michael Doyen keeping William LeMaster close and honest as a result. About a second gap between those two, and Dion Tovar, who leads ahead of Jason Larson and a good old bunch of the pack. We are from there to the end of the race course, or end of the list of cars. Only 2, I think, that have spun out and crashed. I don't see a Colin Olson here on the grid. Yep. And Landon Orr has jumped to pits. Let's see what happened here as we do that, of course. As I look at this. Oh, a self-spin coming through the kink like I was talking about. Got to be careful there for those drivers. Dion Tovar ends up a little bit ways earlier. William LeMaster a little ways down. Michael Doyen as well. I went to go look at what happened there. And these two, almost came to blows. Hold on. Wow. Both getting a very wide line. William LeMaster getting a slowdown penalty and a black flag as a result of failing to serve the actual furled black flag slowdown penalty. We'll see him have to come down the pit lane soon. A little bit of drama to round out the start of our race. The field, however, continued to stay bunched up. I was talking about it just a moment ago. Dion Tovar now holding up both Mitch Buenaventura and Jason Larson, which I think the only reason Jason Larson is fighting Mitch Buenaventura is because of the holdup with Dion. As they come out of the infield section for the second lap of the race, William LeMaster just letting people go by. I'm not quite sure, or if a little bit of damage there is causing issues. They both look like they got through the corner okay. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly happened there. But you can see right there from that shot, cars all up and down the grid. A huge gap forming between Matt Markley and Matt Baer as they get through the first couple of laps. The rest of the pack's running really tight. Nate Sides, however, backwards on the exit of the Le Mans chicane or the bus stop. I want to see what happened here to Nate Sides as we go into this corner. Play it at normal speed, goes in. I wonder if there's just too much rotation. Yeah. Oh, the curbing unsettling that car and causing it to snapshot into the wall, and that front end will detach itself from the rear, from the rest of that car. He's able to bring it back into pit lane. There is a faster pair on offer for these drivers. Might be a little soon before being able to come in. Hayden also diving in. I wonder if he didn't put enough fuel into that car properly. Happens every now and then. The 8X Sun is fun. I think we haven't reached that point yet, Marcus. We'll see when we get to it. Dan Griffin setting the fastest in-race lap with a 1:46.7. Puts him up into 6th from where he's at, right behind his teammate Nicholas Maynard, as they both work their way to the sharp end of the stick. Kevin Hayes trying to hang out with them as they create a little bit of a gap from themselves to Michael Doyen, who was at the beginning of this race at the front and then had an early lap 1 Le Mans chicane incident. All right. Early race broadcast shenanigans done and out of the way. As we look further back in the field for a couple more battles, groups are beginning to get a little bit spread out as pace is found for those drivers, as well as incidents rack up for them. Dion Tovar, after 3 laps, still at the lead of the race after inheriting it in lap 1. Jason Larson still ahead of Mitch Buenaventura. John Schwartz, however, in that Rexy Porsche, looking to make the move on the outside of the tri-oval, I believe is the word there, but has to back out as Jason Larson runs it in deep to stay in second. Landon Orr with another crash after coming out of the pit lane with repairs being completed. And there's the look there from Jason on the inside of the first hairpin, first horseshoe, and will take over the lead as Dion slides right in behind, in between himself and Jonathan Schwartz. Mitch Buenaventura hanging out right behind these 4 drivers. 3 Porsches and a Corvette. As they get going here. Gaps still forming a little bit, but all of them mostly there and ready to go. I want to see Mitch Ventura. Actually, I want to see from Kevin Hayes, since we were talking with him earlier. See what it looks like as we go through the come out of the turns 1 and 2 on NASCAR. Just the number of cars you can see out of the front window there, all looking to work their way through the chicane properly. You can see all of them snake around. Jason Larson definitely looks like he had the wrong way to take that set of corners, and that, in fact, will be the case as he drops down the order behind those two drivers. And we'll see himself, I think, slot in right behind Nicholas Maynard once he gets through all of those turns. Dan Griffin going to take around a look on the inside as well. And it seems Jason Larson will find himself, well, right on the outside as Kevin Hayes, looking to keep up with the two Lamborghinis in front of him. Does not want to get outdone. Late into the braking for Nicholas Maynard. Nicholas Maynard got to shuffle in as Mitch Ventura gives him the space in the pursuit of the top spots. Further back in the order, Chris Kraus fighting alongside Joshua Harless in that Stellarum Motorsports. I'm going to say, I know there is a bit in our team's sheet of which Stellarum that is. The black banner and decals. I'm guessing that is Continuum then, in which Alex Holler will yell at me for getting it wrong immediately, regardless of whether or not that's correct. But these two duking it out for 17th overall, 5th in class as we get into the GT3 AM drivers. Meanwhile, a battle for the lead. Jonathan Schwartz looking to get past with that Rexy Porsche on the Porsche of Dion Tovar and gets the later braking line into the Le Mans chicane. That slows down Dion a fair bit. And it's going to be at the clutches of Nicholas Maynard as they come out of the bus stop and into NASCAR 3 and 4. You see all these cars come roaring past as they get set up for the tri-oval and the start-finish line. A whole train of cars along the outside of Dion, and Dion is just hanging on to where he's at for dear life. Has the inside line, holds on to that inside line, gonna force Dan Griffin around the long way, holding on to it for the moment. See where this pans out here, and just to side by side as they come to turn number 3. They're gonna have to sort it out by the hairpin. Dan Griffin getting the inside line, but better speed versus the inside line. We'll see. Dan Griffin hold on to it for the moment, and Mitch Bonaventura now forced to go too wide with Dion as they go through the kink in between the hairpins. Always a sketchy spot. Mitch Bonaventura backs out, allows that to get resolved naturally as we get through another lap. All of these cars piled up. Michael Doyen finds his way back into the tail end of this group as well, able to keep the momentum going. Oh, big look there from Dion as he almost spins it, trying to get that car pointed in the right direction. We'll see him fall, I think, right behind or right in line with Kevin Hayes. Got a couple of crashes to see. Let's see what happened to Kyle Orvet's here. Coming through the chicane, I believe. And he's, I wonder if it's just the over-rotation. Oh, the curbs are so much more upsetting to the GT3s this time around since the update of the Daytona road course, or Daytona in general, that turned that back section into just all tarmac. I'm not a fan of it. They could have painted it green at least. And then Landon Orr getting another self-spin, but able to keep it going the right direction. Meanwhile, back at the front of the grid, Jonathan Schwartz holding off Nicholas Maynard, Dan Griffin, as both of them have found, or really Dan Griffin has found his way around Mitch Bonaventura. As Dion Tovar goes too wide with Kevin Hayes, and then I think maybe losing out a place to Nick Terrell. Nope, maybe not. Let's see how it develops here. Turns 2 and 3. Plenty of opportunity there for both these drivers. The look being made, but not stuck to. And Michael Doyen trying to figure out where he fits into that top 9 of drivers, as the top 3 just kind of tear off. Let's see, I think it was Tim Schaefer there. Yeah, it's Tim Schaefer pointed backwards. I want to see what happened here. He went off track a long while ago. Was he helped? I see Tyler Roberts also went off track for even longer. No, self-spin, snap of oversteer Oh, and hard into the barrier on the outside of 3. Let's see what happened to Tyler Roberts separate of this. Going, out of the second chicane. Oh, the second hairpin. Almost said U-turn. Is where this spin happens. Keeps it out of the wall and out of anybody else. So able to get that car going the right direction again without too much issue. Jonathan Schwartz, Jonathan Schwartz, Nicholas Maynard, and Dan Griffin, top 3 as it stands. Looking a bit further back, Jason Larson, Mitch Buenaventura within 0.2 of each other as well. A 10th separating Dion and Kevin Hayes as Dion gets the toe down the back stretch. He's going to look on the outside. Kevin's going to hold the inside line. Classic defensive, as they get around to the tri-oval. Excuse me. That looked like exactly the same way you would go out in NASCAR 1 and 2. It's almost like it's an oval, and a lot of them look the same. Dion does get an off track there, loses a little bit of time as well because he wants to go for the inside line, but Kevin Hayes is there and refusing to let up. We'll see Dion stay behind Kevin Hayes for another lap through the bus stop. Nick Terrell going to slide on the inside as well and pick up the spot there from Dion. And Michael Doyen going to have to hang out and just bide his time to wait for the opportunity there, as he has, it seems to be the pace to keep it up for the time being. Oh, there is the look up the inside for Michael Doyen. He's going to see if he can hold on to it. The more he fights, the further he gets from Nick Terrell as well. Manages to keep it as it was. Has a great draft here going into NASCAR 3 and 4. This whole oval section is a great opportunity for drafting and the classic oval race style and race mentality. Hang out in the draft, get a great run out of the chicane, and hope for a look there. A bit of a wobble there out of Dion as he goes into the bus stop. Look at the brakes light up as they go into the braking zone. Thankfully, plenty of opportunity to cool them down. Oh, Michael Boyan. All right, cool. He's there. A lot of the back half of the field getting more and more spread out as pace is found between all of these drivers. Ken Duvall and Richard Costanza for the P2 and P3 of GT3 AM, right behind Tom Leeson, are currently in the midst of duking it out. I wonder if I have a good onboard behind. I do. Look at that. See the reflection there. Surprisingly, only have one the lights because I think it's only maps so many at one time. And anyway. Lighting. But these two duking it out for P2 in class in GT3 AM. As looking to go into the second hairpin of the infield section once more. You can see on that track map, I pulled up a little while ago, but pretty condensed still for all of these drivers, despite us being 15 minutes in. Hello. How are you doing, Metal Maverick? God, there's too many usernames. I'm apologies. It's once again slipped out of my brain. William LeMaster, labeled as crashed. Let's find out what happened here. From pole position, the evening seems to be going the wrong direction. Oh, the curbing. No? Okay, curbing did catch him out, but then he pulled over and I think called it. I'm trying to figure out why. No, okay. What happened there? Did I miss something? I definitely missed Mitch Buenaventura crashing because he is now fighting alongside Tom Leeson for the lead of GT3M, even though he's a GT3 Pro driver. Let's find out what happened here for these drivers. Going into the bus stop, defending from, I believe, Jason Larson, and just gets, I think, a little bit of a bump there. Wesley, number 2 Porsche, couldn't make it. Oh, man. Well, hopefully we get to see you out here next week. That's right. I'm remembering now. Thank you for stopping by. I hope it's you can see the good racing you'll be getting into in the next couple of weeks here, especially we get to come back here next weekend. So definitely plenty of time still to have some fun on Daytona Road Course in the sprint format. here next week. That's a number 12 stopped. It's not Mitch Ventura. Who is that? Who was stopped? Patrick Cantrell? Was that you? Hold on, what happened? Yep, went off track. Ah, it seems to have caught out a couple of the Ferraris. That second hairpin slash horseshoe, whatever you want to call it. It's caught a couple of the Ferraris out so far, but no harm, no foul as we get into it. Luke Plaisance, I think, defending. Yeah, defending from Andre Saba. A few more minutes left for a small interview. Sure. You could certainly do that. Why not? My booth buddy, Mr. Marcus Osborne, is unfortunately busy with real life work. So, but he has said he will not miss another race. So I'll hold him to it. Luke Plaisance finding a little bit of pace with Andre Saba in the opening sector here. Meanwhile, Kevin Hayes, Michael Doyen within a tenth of each other as Michael Doyen is trying to find his way around Kevin Hayes. And Kevin Hayes throwing out the blockers as they get into the second hairpin of the infield section. Dion going to organize himself and try to hook onto this train of cars. As my PC decides to have a brief moment. Meanwhile, top three as they were. Jonathan Schwartz leading off, Nicholas Maynard and Dan Griffin. As there's the flash out of Michael Doyen, letting him know that there is, in fact, a car behind him, and he wants to get around. And Michael Doyen have to go the long way. Kevin Hayes taking the inside, shallower line, ends up being a little bit slower. This may give a good opportunity for Dion if he gets a great run out of the Le Mans chicane, as he wasn't fighting anybody. And now Michael Doyen almost boxed in, gets his own way out. And now we're going to see them go, I think, it might be 3 wide. Dion, I think, is backed off enough to make it not happen. Dion's, I think, going to try to give a bump draft to Michael Doyen. Or at least hang out in the draft there. Both of them getting around. Kevin Hayes. Dion's going to try to slide in, I think, right behind him. But Kevin Hayes not going to let it go lying down. Michael Doyen's drafting buddy gets thrown to the winds. Joshua Harless getting past in a three-way battle here between Ken Duvall, Chris Kraus, and Joshua Harless for P3 over in the GT3 AM category. Chris Kraus looking to make his way through all of these drivers. Ken Duvall trying to find his own pathway. Richard Costanza kind of on his own up the road from these three drivers who are now fighting for the bottom step of the podium. "20 minutes in. I think it's time for some interviews. Said I'd talk with Wesley Woods here. So I'm dragging him in the booth. Wesley.
Hey, Finn, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Sorry, I'm getting my mic going again.
Oh, it's all good. What car
So how you been?
Doing well. You know, getting through the opening 20 minutes of the race here. I know you're not with us on track tonight. What will you be driving this coming season?
This coming season, I look to be driving the number 2 Porsche 911 GT3.
Okay.
Yes. It's been a lovely car. I ran my first Daytona 24 in it, and
nice.
It's just, whoa, we had a spin out right there.
Yeah, that was Landon Orr still coming to terms with that Mustang, it seems like.
Yeah, it's very front heavy. If you lock it down, it really wants to spin, just like the Porsche. I mean, very, very loose cars.
And setups also assist in that, I assume.
Yes, very much so. Depending on how much like front weight and rear weight distribution you have, that also puts into effect of how much oversteer you get. You do have issues to where you can oversteer too much, and then you'll get that spinning effect that everybody has. You also will have an issue with what it's desirable at some points, but if you have that oversteer and too much acceleration, you can turn that into understeer. It's strange with those cars. The Porsche and the Mustang, they're the worst to get stuck in oversteer with.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
So, you will be back with us next week in the Porsche for week number 1.
God willing. God willing.
enough.
I've been having a itch to race for the past couple weeks. That last Le Mans race was really fun. And I'm looking to do better soon. Yeah, just cutting the grass.
What happened there, Dan? Oh, just the slowest of spins. Too much rotation. Keeps it out of the wall, though.
No, he wasn't. That wasn't spinning out. He was just trying to see what that sign said. You saw how he turned his headlight straight to it.
That's fair.
It's hard to see it at night.
Happens to all of us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. Well, we'll see you next week. I'm gonna bother some more of these people in the league party chat and see how they're all getting along.
Will do. Thank you, Finn.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Luke Plaisance, Andre Saba getting just through that battle for what is essentially P9 on the road. And the battles are bunching back up for these lead cars. Jonathan Swartz now only having to deal with one Nicholas Manor half a second behind. And then Nick Terrell in third, leading off Jason Larson, who has found himself back up into fourth. Let's see how our leader in GT3 AM is doing. Tomlinson.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Chose the perfect time to wait until you were in the Le Mans chicane to do that. I'm realizing.
Yeah. Bit of a shock when I'm in the bus stop, but that's all right.
Yeah. How are you liking the Lamborghini this season?
Hey, I'm liking it a lot so far. It's a little temperamental sometimes in the corners. Try to overdrive it, but it looks great. It sounds great. It's fun to drive.
What's the onboard like? Yeah, it is. It is definitely one of my more like unique sounding GT3s we have on the track.
And one of the last few naturally aspirated, I think, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because turbocharger is just another word for not enough cylinders.
It is, in fact, the word for not enough cylinders. And also, we want it to go faster, but we don't want to make more cylinders.
That's right. Oh.
So, cool. Are you excited for the season of OMEC involving just GT3s?
I'm really stoked. We got some banger courses coming up, too. Like, the first week here in Mosport. Oh boy. That's going to be crazy fun.
Mosport is definitely going to be, I think, a fun but a little bit chaotic given the amount of GT3s.
You're going to be busy with the replays, I think. Because
I get that feeling as well.
I think a few people are going to lose it into Moss Corner.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine. I saw Dan Griffin spin in the first turn like a little while ago in the Lamborghini. I was like, how does that happen? But oversteers we won't. Over rotation will get everyone. So
it's true. Oh my God! Could you tell Richard to slow down a bit?
How about I let you go so that way you can get back to being faster.
All right, that sounds good.
But I will certainly can. If I see him around, I'll let him know that he should slow down.
All right.
So.
Just shoot him a text message or something. You'd say like, "Hey, man, chill out."
Yeah. I'll let him know. So I'll let you get back to it and keep your race going.
Thanks, Sven. Looking forward to the season, buddy.
Likewise. All right, cheers. Tom Leeson, current P1, though that may be subject to change, though Nick Terrell may throw a wrench in all of that as he's rejoining the track from a spin. Let's see what happened here. Nick Terrell crashed. Matt Bates Sr. also labeled as crash. Let's see what happened. Goes in turn 1. Goes in for the rotation. Goes out and keeps rotating. Keeps it alive. Parks it. Tries to get out of the way. Sees the opportunity to cut across. Does so. And then this is where I think we come in as he is rejoining the track. Right as Tom and Richard are flying by. Yep. All right. Now he has a little bit of a buffer by putting Nick Terrell between himself and Richard Costanza. Fantastic way to do it. Just to really try to figure out what's happening here as we're going on. Chris Krause, welcome to the booth.
Hey, Ben, how you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great as well.
Currently sitting in 5th. Saw you mixing it up with Ken Duvall and Joshua Harless.
Yeah, oh man, there's been a lot of pucker so far in this race between the three of us.
So I'm trying to see how you ended up at the tail end of those three.
I went a little wide in the first hairpin.
Okay.
Was that turn 4 or whatever? And got off in the grass a little bit, and the car got squirrely. So I think that's when they were both able to get around me.
Absolutely. Jonathan Schwartz crashed. What happened there?
Sheesh.
Well, it's like nobody
Honestly,
wants to be in the lead.
Daytona is not taking any prisoners this year. This is my first time at this track. I don't know if others are experiencing this, but it is not as easy as it used to be.
He just parks it. I wonder if he didn't have enough gas to get back around.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, Nicholas Maynard going to take over the lead of the race as a result.
Nice.
So you're back in the Stang once more. What is what is your new team name?
I don't know if I have one.
The lawsuit.
I'm not.
In the settlement there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't really have a teammate, unfortunately.
Okay.
I don't think I'll be racing very much this season just because of work schedule is going to be insane. But
oh no, Joshua Harless.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll take that position. I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, work's going to take you away from racing with us as well.
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm going. I start night shift on Thursday, so I actually have to stay up late.
Oh, okay.
Which is not something that I'm used to doing ever.
Fun.
Usually by 8:30, I'm sleeping.
You have the old man schedule.
Yes.
Now you have to drive the not old man schedule.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Interesting.
So we'll see how it goes, but hopefully it's only a few months and then I'll be able to come back. But
yeah, that is the hope.
Yeah. I'll definitely have some nights off where I'll be able to jump in.
Heck yeah. Well, I will look forward to it then. And
appreciate
seeing
it.
The Mustang back out.
Yes, absolutely.
Curly sitting in 4th. Got about a few seconds between yourself and Ken Duvall. We'll let you get back to working your way up the order. And
all right. Thanks, Fen.
Absolutely. Good luck.
Great to have you back this season as well.
Likewise. I'm looking forward to it. So.
Good.
All righty.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Of course. Cheers.
Yep.
Chris Krause, currently sitting in 4th. And we got this battle between Mitch Ventura, Luke Plaisance, Andre Saba. Is anybody I can bother? Nobody I can bother. This trio to really mess things up. We'll just hang out with him for a second. And then I want to bother one Landon Moore, who I haven't seen in a while. I want to see how he's doing. These three are going at it. This is for 7th in class. Mitch Ventura having that big off earlier, able to recover and get back into a fight here between these drivers. Let's ride along with Mitch. We ride along with Mitch once before. Actually, I want to see what happened with Dan Griffin. Dan Griffin crashed real quick. Let me do a classic F1 cut away from the action right as it gets the most intense. Oh, the curbing. The curbing seems to be so much more deadly this time around. Ooh. Yep. All right, sorry. Checking up on this fight. between these drivers. Let's ride along as we get through the Le Mans chicane, the bus stop. They put the label down. They put the Le Mans label on the chicane to be like, it is technically the Le Mans chicane. And we have a couple more crashes to dive into. Tim Schaefer as well as Ken Duvall. And Mitch Bonaventura is going to bump draft Andre Saba into turn number 1. Luc Plaisance on the inside. Andre Saba on the outside. Mitch Bonaventura trying to find his own way through. And I think is going to be right alongside. I don't have a good side-by-side. No, sorry. Gets around Andre Saba. And will end up right behind Luc Plaisance. Luc Plaisance leaves the door open. Mitch Bonaventura is going to end up tapping him. And then the two of them are going to collide. Mitch Bonaventura is going to come off the road. This is going to send Luc Plaisance reeling right into Ken Duvall as well as Tom Leeson, who crashes right into... Oh, no. And Richard Costanza gets to take over the lead of GT3 AM as a result of that incident. Meatball flag for team both Plaisance and Tom Leeson. Let's take a look back at that off track. These two wrapped up in the battle, the incident there. And then as Luke comes flying back on track, Tom Leeson, nowhere to go, trying not to follow those drivers, ends up running into the two of them. And they are both damaged and taken out of the race. Well, taken out of the minimum race. They have the ability of a quick repair, and they'll come back out on track here, hopefully momentarily. Before all that, I wanted to see what happened to Ken Duvall, who had his own incident separate of all that craziness, which gave Chris Kraus P3. Oh, another break and then toe to pit lane. I wonder what's happening there. I've seen two now do it. Jonathan Schwartz, Tim Schaefer, Ken Duvall. We've had a good number of drivers tow and then retire from the race. Nicholas Maynard holding on to the lead. Jason Larson, 0.6 of a lap behind him. As Nicholas Maynard has been setting 145.52s, and Jason Larson setting 145.09s. I wonder what happened there with those two drivers. And then Tim Schaefer, also labeled as crashed. This was... Oh, spun. Catches it. And then just parks it. Yeah, and then just parks it. All right. Well, these two duking it out for the lead of the race. Mitch Bonaventura trying to get around Richard Costanza for overall position. Joshua Harless and Tyler Roberts are going to be not duking it out for position either, only for overall spots. A bit of a rough one as this race develops, with only being 30 minutes in. It has been a wild one. So let's go. I think it's time. To bother one Landon Orr. Landon Orr, welcome to the booth.
Oh no.
Oh no. I mean, I could send you back.
No, it's been a rough race.
I
decided to try the Mustang, and I'm realizing why I didn't choose the Mustang a few seasons ago.
That's fair. So it is a little bit prone to spinning.
Yeah, I think I'm at 5 or so right now. So, it's going.
I would say you have yet to crash it after the first one.
After the first one. Well, and good thing I created this session and I forgot to put a limit on fast repairs, so I can do it as much as I want.
Hey, that means everybody else can too.
Exactly. Silver linings, man.
That is going to be, I think, exactly what both Tom Leeson and Luc Plaisance need, as they both had a...
Oh, I I was wondering what happened with them.
Yeah,
Okay.
Luke Plaisance and Mitch Ventura got into a bit of a tangle in the first hairpin, and Tom Leeson drew the short straw in trying to get around both of them.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, it's a little early to be pitting. Okay. Yeah. No, it's something, man. It's something out here.
It certainly is. So, what will we be seeing you in the rest of the season driving? Since it's not the Mustang.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I really wanted to do the Mustang, but I don't know. It was Porsche the last season. I'm not sure yet. And I might go back to my original Ferrari. We'll see.
I was about to be like, let me play devil's advocate then and just say you should do the Ferrari. I just like the Ferrari.
Yeah, I think I might give it a try. That was my very first one, and when I joined OMEC, when I was fastest in, and since that first season, it's only been downhill, so I might as well go back to what worked. I'm significantly slower now than I was like 2 years ago, so if that tells you anything.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, depends on how much effort you put into it, and then also the cars change. The time you have to practice changes, life changes. So.
Those are the excuses I'll use. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
And to be fair, you're still racing. You could be like me and just be in the booth. It hasn't been so far downhill that you're in the booth now.
Yeah, no, I've barely raced the last 2 seasons, and this season I can actually do it, so I'm just going to embrace it. I'll just be here no matter where I am on the grid.
Heck yeah. Well, consistency breeds results, as I've now said. I was going to say somebody else said that. That's not what happened. What happened to Joshua? Mr. Harless? Let's find out.
Same here.
Oh, the curbing on the exit of the Lost Chicane has claimed another victim.
Dude, Daytona's going to be interesting this year, man. That is a bus stop. That is a bus stop.
It is just like, I think people are so used to using the curbing that I don't think you can
so
do
hard
it.
At the exit. Yeah. You can't.
I don't think you can do it anymore. And like, based on like the little bit of practice I did for the Roar, because I'm not going to be doing the 24 this year, I was like, the curbing is just deadly on the exit for any of like at least the LMP3 and the TCR that I tried. So,
yeah, I was going to do LMP3 for the Roar. I hadn't even thought about how bad that thing hates curbs in general.
Yes,
so
I mean it does, but like it super hates those ones. So.
Oh yeah, we'll see how it goes.
But, all right, well, I'll be excited to see what you end up choosing for next week. I'll let you get back into the race.
Thank you, sir.
You're not last, so
no, and I might pass DJ here unless I mess it up. So you should get that on the broadcast if I ever catch him.
Well, when you get close enough to him, I'll.
God damn it!
Well, you said you spoke too soon.
Yeah, that sums up my Mustang experience.
All right, well, I'll let you get back to it. Good luck.
Thanks so much.
See you soon. Oh, and that was Landon Orr, one of our OMEC admins. Meanwhile, Jason Larson in the box for stop and hold for a speeding penalty. He got picked up a few laps ago. But otherwise, gaps, the more they spread out, the more they come together. Tyler Roberts now trying to pass Chris Kraus. And Matt Markley at the lead of a train of 4 LMP2 GT3 AM drivers, including 2 pro drivers of Nate Sides and Patrick Cantrell, as well as 2 AM drivers of Matt Markley. 3 pro drivers with Jason Scott at the tail end of them. There we go. That's my English. That's what I got there. So, all right. Who haven't I talked to yet of those in party chat? Michael Doyen finds himself back in second place after being in second place to start and then losing it out to it in lap number 1. Heck of a comeback drive. The story to talk about probably for the night, if the return drive is as epic as it seems to be so far. But Nate Sides and Patrick Cantrell. Do I got a good onboard of this? I don't have a good onboard. Let's change that. Let's get scuffed for a moment as I reload a car that texture that should be on here. There we go. It's not better, but it's better than what I had. You can see the lights of that GT3 right behind Patrick Cantrell. The Jaws theme intensifies as Nate Sides goes the bump draft and you will see the two of them work their way around Matt Markley, who is the trail end of those 3 cars. Why is that up? What the heck is happening? Oh, for some reason it decided it wants to go to chopper 2. All right, well, there's a chopper cam for a moment. As 2 of them work their way around Matt Markley, who is now down the 2 spots. I'm just going to pull Nate Sides. Nate Sides, welcome to Broadcast Booth.
What's up?
See you bump drafted Nate Patrick up ahead of you.
Yep.
How's that going?
Touching his butt. I like it.
Well, that's good, I suppose.
Yeah.
I would hope that would be the point of the bump draft.
That's what you gotta do around here.
That's what it seems to be. Seems to be the way the solution. So, are you gonna be in the Mustang again this season?
I think so. I like the Mustang.
Okay.
Certainly sounds the best in my opinion. I want to do something real goofy like the Audi, but I tried it and it's just not doing it for me anymore.
That car, unfortunately, I think is just not like consistently stable enough.
Nope.
And it's not predictable.
And it kills you if you get a little bit wrong.
Yeah. It's not like a predictable one that you can be like, oh yeah, this is exactly how this will happen if I, induce an understeer or oversteer. It's just like, let's roll some dice, and whatever side it lands on will be what you get.
Absolutely.
So.
And I might kill you, I might not. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll find out. So that's makes sense. I wish the Audi was a little bit more reliable. I think I would love that car if it had a more predictable drive style when understeer and oversteer are induced.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, let's see how the end of this goes. Are you looking forward to the season?
I am.
So,
I've been itching for some league racing.
The holiday season got you a little bit itchy for one?
Yep.
Good.
And officials are hit and miss at best.
I feel like, and this is going to be a strong opinion for me, I feel like that the racing standards have gotten incredibly worse the past 12 calendar months.
Yeah, they have.
On officials. And I don't understand I don't really know the best way I want to quantify that or how I explain that to somebody. But it's like every experience I've either had myself, heard from somebody, has always been okay is the best that they talk about. They don't talk about great experiences they have. They talk about like nice people they've run into. But in terms of actual racing standards and like what happens in a race, it's like it's okay or it's deplorable and I never want to do officials again. And I'm like, yeah, because league racing is inherently better, but I am biased because I do largely only league racing or commentary for league racing.
That's the main reason I do league racing.
Yeah.
Because you can hold people accountable because it's not see them the next week every week. It's not like you're gonna never see them again or maybe see them 6 months from now or something.
Yeah. Well, what truck are you looking forward to most?
I didn't take a look at the track, but I know I have to buy, I think, Miami yet. Are we doing Miami? I think we're doing Miami.
I don't think we are. I don't see it on the schedule for this season. At least not in the weekly.
Okay. I don't know. I like all the tracks, really.
Fair.
There's just a couple that I don't like.
I'm looking forward to Bathurst. And
we're doing Bathurst?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Of course we are.
Perfect, because I'm going to be missing the 12 hour, so.
Oh, good. Okay. And it's an enduro, so you get a good 90 minutes of Bathurst.
90 minutes of trying to keep out of the walls.
Well, yeah, that's anytime you're on Bathurst is however long you're there out of the walls.
Yep.
So, cool. All right, well, I'll let you get back to the race. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
And enjoy it. I will see you probably soon. So.
Yep.
All righty.
All right.
Cheers. Nick Terrell getting around Andre Saba. I don't know about this yet. Meanwhile, we're getting into the pit cycle window as we get through this first area. Drivers coming in to pit. and get pit laps done. A good, huge portion of the track at this point have come in for incidents, but the ones who are green flag running have come in over the past few laps. And we will see that how they fare. Nick Terrell currently sitting in 5th overall. Pretty much gaps all the way up the order. Nicholas Mader in the lead of the race at the moment. I'm trying to figure out what happened to Jason Larson amongst all this that we've been doing. He got labeled as crashed here. Let's find out. Out lap. I wonder if he hits the curbs too much. Oh, snap of oversteer, which then he collects, but then it spins him back around, and he gets ejected out of the front bit there. And then looks like he tries to pull it in, then parks it. He's not out anymore. We have had a total of 6 cars retire from the race. Sorry, 7 cars. We have 23 still racing. Kyle Orvet's the last GT3 AM driver out on track. Michael Doyen comes in for his 1 stop, and that sees him come back out into 8th in class, 10th overall. Chris Kraus and Richard Costanza both in front of him with a 13-second gap between those 2 drivers for GT3 AM. Michael Doyen just ahead of Luke Plaisance, who's a lap down. Chris Kraus, Tyler Roberts going to be duking it out for overall positions. Overall, I believe they're looking for 8th. And Tom Leeson in the background hunting for the recovery drive amongst all that. And meanwhile, these two duking it out once more. Chris Kraus, Tyler Roberts as well. 2 wide as they go through the kink and into the second hairpin. Oh, almost a moment there. But Tyler Roberts able to keep that distance and find his own way through, ideally. So, we are 50 minutes out of our hour and 30 race. 40 minutes still left on the clock. Halfway home for all of our drivers. So, point of order, any point from now until the end on a one-stop strategy will get you to the end. For most of our drivers, they've had incidents here that have taken them into pit lane. For anyone that did it over the 30-minute mark, pretty much, they are now set to the end of the race to just turn laps, try to bring home a solid recovery drive, depending on how long they spent in pit lane, or their travel to pit lane via towing or through slow driving. Mitch Bonaventura slapped with a black flag for cutting the inside. What happened there? Kyle Orvet's labeled as crashed. Let's see what happened to this guy. Oh, just a slow slide? Yeah, just a slow slide. And then he jumps from there because he damages the rear wing. Mitch Bonaventura in a similar fashion. What happens? Oh, snap of oversteer, understeer, oversteer. How does he end up with a black flag? I'm so confused. How does that give him a black flag? Incident limit, maybe. I don't know. Something I can think of. All right. Dan Griffin holding on to 4th, 2 seconds behind Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes is the 3rd driver on the podium. Dion, going up and down the order, finds himself in 2nd. All these drivers have yet to pit. Nicholas Maynard in the lead of this race still after 51 minutes. Dion Tovar, speaking of, is going to come in for his 1 pit stop that he'll need to make this lap, meaning he'll be coming out further down the order. Tyler Roberts has gotten around Chris Kraus, Tom Leeson, and the tail end of all of these 3. We'll see where they all end up. A few of themselves make their pit stops and pit cycles Andre Saba, another one, looking to do so. So, and then Hayden Mamenga, labeled as crashed as well. I'm going to ask, drag Nick Terrell into the booth. Oh, just the slowest of spins. Painful. So, I was going to see when Nick Terrell is coming in for a pit lane stop. So I have a question about pit lane strategy that I think he would be appropriately labeled to answer. Joshua Harless also joining the individuals having an issue on their outlap. This time, he had almost like he caught it, and then he just, car goes spinning. Puts it back together. Oh, that left rear is unhappy. So we'll see them swap out. Andre Saba getting passed by Matt Markley as they get out onto the go through the kink and then go through the second hairpin. I almost thought they were done with the the infield section. Kevin Hayes, Danny Griffin diving into pit lane, this time by Nick Terrell staying out. Now's the time. And nope. Hi, Nate. You know how I was meant to
Hi.
go, though. Bye, Nate. There we go. Hi, Nick.
Howdy.
How's the race going?
Trying to recover. I started down, got up to P3, had my little spin, and just trying to keep it clean.
Say, you're starting in, I believe, 5th once the pit cycle is all said and done. What is the pit strategy?
I'm coming in just taking what fuel I need to the end and some tires.
Okay. Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it says I need enough fuel that they're free and everything, so shouldn't be a big issue. But it's like, I think like 17, almost 18 gallons ago.
Nice. So,
How's the broadcast been? Some good excitement?
Oh, yeah. Excitement here and there. Talking with Landon as he spins live on stream is always a fun time. Watching Tom and Luke come together in that incident with Mitch was also another exciting moment. So
Yeah, looking forward to checking it out tomorrow. So
it's
get you some views that way.
It'll be a fun season, I think, as well. You're sticking with the Porsche for the season?
Yeah, especially. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I like how it handles curves and stuff.
Very fair.
Here we go.
All right. Nice. Is that the pro line to getting into the pit lane?
Yeah.
All right.
Surprised they don't have that as an incident pointer to slow down.
So, all right. Pit stop for you has been completed. Now you're free to the end.
But yeah.
Well,
soon. Yep. To the end.
So, what track are you looking forward to most?
I always like this track. It's when I can drive it like my eyes closed. But pretty much, I've done so many laps here between GT3s, LMP2s, GTPs. So I'll be doing at least 2 of the 24s.
Ooh, okay.
Last year I did 3 of them.
Jeez. Kevin.
Yeah, I've done at least 2 of the special events since I started doubling up on them.
Nice. Kevin Hayes is labeled as crashed. I'm trying to figure out why. Kevin Hayes, no. The curbing. It gets you every time. Curbing at the exit of the Le Mans Shane killed.
I do like the new light flicker of the Porsche.
I can't tell if I like it or I worry that it's going to give seizures more than it used to. It's cool, though. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to it. I thought I had more for you question-wise, but apparently they've all
no worries.
vacated my brain.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Enjoy
look forward
your
to seeing
outlet.
you tomorrow and good talking with you.
Yeah, sounds good. Take it easy.
See you, Finn.
And that is Nick Terrell, who comes out back into 5th after the pit cycle. Made sides, finds himself in 4th prior to it. But I think he'll need to come back in again based on when his pit lap was. The first time around, Nick Maynard going to be in the pit lane right now. This is an interesting spot to put for the camera. So, yeah, Kevin Hayes has gotten that car moving again. Taking the second pit there. Finds himself a little ways down. So I'm interested to see Nicholas Maynard getting out, I think, a pretty good way ahead of Michael Doyen. 8 sides, having that spin on the inside. Andre Saba having a spin in the chicane on the exit of the chicane. That's an interesting place to be. What happened there? Andre Saba. You can't park there. Goes for the, oh, that was a wiggle. Oh, just too much inside curb. And just the slow spin. Keeps it out of the tire barrier, though. That's a good, nice. We'll get that car going again without too much issue. Loses a couple of spots as a result, but keeps up his run alive in the top 10, just outside the top 5. Dion Tovar a few seconds ahead. I say a few, 15 seconds ahead. You know who I haven't talked to yet? I don't want him to feel left out because I've talked to everybody else. Matt Markey, welcome to the
Thank you.
I've talked to everybody else. I didn't want to make you feel like I was excluding you specifically.
I did not feel excluded, but thank you.
You're welcome. How is the race for you?
Pretty good. I think I'm pretty slow here around Daytona. I didn't do any practice, and the new bus stop is freaking me out.
I think it's just a little different. And the curbing, I think, is the thing that seems to be catching a lot of people out from, like, everybody. I think I've seen, not everybody, but a good handful of folks I've seen try to take too much curbing in the bus stop and then slide at some point as a result, or crash it into the wall. It's one of the exit currents.
Yeah, the new big sausage curbs are really scary. If you touch them, it just basically kills you.
Yeah, that's what I experienced in the LMP3 when I was driving here for roar practice yesterday. So, are you enjoying? You've driven the McLaren a few seasons before, right? This is not a new.
Yeah, I've driven the McLaren the last few seasons actually. Yeah.
Okay,
So it's always very slidey, but it's fun to drive.
I feel like if I was going to drive a GT3, I think McLaren or the Ferrari are my 2 picks at about equal level. Or the Mercedes.
I'm driving VR, so I like the dashboard and I like the visibility out of it.
Yeah. That's also very good. I also drive VR, so I think maybe that's why. It's just a very visible car versus like the Mustang and other ones like that, where you're like, I'm in a tank that is masquerading as a.
I can't drive the Mustang in VR. The hood is too long. It's crazy to drive.
I think it's just I don't like looking like. I feel like I'm actually looking out of a mail slot, not theoretically looking out of a mail slot. So. Excited to have you back as always.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't get to drive much last season because I broke my foot at the beginning of last season. So I raced a couple of races here and there.
Jeez. Is it healing okay? Has it healed okay?
Yeah, it's totally healed now. It was just like a stretch fracture.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
So I don't even know how I did it. Just idiot. But
I mean, there are quite, always things that were like, how did we do this? And it just
who knows? In retrospect, I walked around on it for like a week, so I probably just made it worse.
Yeah, it probably would make it worse. So, but at least it's healed now, and you are.
Yeah, and all GT3 this season. It should be fun to have all GT3 with a big field.
I'm excited because that's like the seasons that I initially drove before I decided to start yelling into a mic for OMEC was with all the GT3 seasons. So I'm like, this feels like we're returning full circle of the hero's journey.
Yeah, I agree. I've always done the seasons like with the split ones. We did GT4 or LMP2 or whatever it was one season, but it's nice to have all the cars because you just have you have similar class cars all around you.
Yeah, and the pace is always it's not too different from each other, and you get to focus on just in-class pace, and you don't have to worry about the multi-class aspect, which is a fun aspect for me, but I love endurance racing. But I also understand why you would want to move away from that for a season to give people a chance to
Yeah,
refine.
I think it's fun for a league. Like I used to do a lot of IMSA and like the public racing. And it just got so crazy. I've just kind of gotten away from it with the multi-class stuff and people trying to kill me.
Yeah, I think I was talking with this. I think it was Nate Sides. The quality of racing and officials seems to have gone very downhill in the past 12 months. No.
The new P Cup races have actually been pretty good.
Oh, good. Okay. I would say I've largely had decent results in single make stuff like the P Cup, or the more obscure ones that only have the diehard fans in, like the supercars and IMSA Vintage. But like IMSA or GT3 officials, feel like I've only heard negative things from, and I've only done like one or two, and I'm like, this is way less fun.
Yeah, if you could stay safe and like not fight super hard the first couple laps and just kind of get into a groove, they're usually pretty good if you can avoid the initial accidents.
That's fair.
Just crazy people trying to go like 3 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, because the race is won on turn 1 of lap 1. So
yeah, it was pretty wild at Adelaide, like the last week or whatever. Everyone trying to go into that first turn kink if you've driven it.
Oh yeah. That is definitely one you could take more than maybe 2 wide. No.
Yeah, 2 wide pretty much kills both of you as well.
Yeah.
There's a big curve on the right and there's a wall on the left.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, I will let you get back to it. Excited to see you back. Happy to have you for the season in the McLaren. Good luck. I believe.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It'll be a fantastic time. See how it goes. So, all right. Cheers.
Later.
Matt Markley, because I didn't want him to feel left out. And I enjoy talking to as many people as I can, because I don't have the person to talk to usually. Marcus Osborne. Just see what happens. We looked at this once already, but I want to look at it again a little more seriously. Nicholas Maynard, I think on the outlap, the tires are cold here. If you get the car unsettled, it looks like it just does not want to survive through the full corner there. In addition, Tyler Roberts, Project Zoomies driver, similar looking situation. Too much curb, and the car gets unsettled, and it'll just spin on you. Man. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Michael Doyen, currently leading to Nicholas Maynard by just over a second after Maynard's spin. Michael Doyen getting a great run here. We'll see if he's able to keep up the momentum. Less than 30 minutes left in this race. You know, Landon Orr, well, I was going to say Landon Orr got around DJ McAteer, but Landon Orr also labeled as crashed right now, so I don't know that that's the case. Once again, another person taking too much curbing on the exit of the bus stop. Ooh. I'm like, I know where that wall should be, and I'm very concerned that wall is going to approach quickly. And the answer was yes, it did in fact approach quickly. And he has another meatball to get organized there. About a second still between Michael Doyen and Nicholas Maynard. The two of them going toe-to-toe. Let me see. Right on the hood of... If I have a hood cam. If I have one? I do. There we go. About a second between these two drivers. It is going to come down to raw pace here in the closing 25 minutes. Biggest on-track action at the moment is these two drivers. Only two drivers within a second of each other. And a gap of about a few tenths swinging in one way or the other. Kind of looking like who has the better exits on some of these bigger corners and the faster that they can get. And a little bit of draft will help Nicholas Maynard just a little bit throughout the long oval sections. But you can feel how Nicholas Maynard was on the power, getting ready to push to try to close the gap. And that gap is closing. You can see the interval coming down by thousandths and hundredths of a second as they come around to NASCAR 3 and 4 onto the start-finish stretch for another lap. And I'm so curious. Luke Plaisance still off track. What happened here? Oh, just comes down. Oh, I wonder if he's out of fuel. All right. Well, he's there. While that's been going on, these two still duking it out for the lead of the race. And the gap closing down to half a second as they get through the second hairpin. The mid-engined Lamborghini versus the rear-engined Porsche as these two go toe-to-toe for the overall lead of the race. And I'm going to be super stoked no matter how this plays out, because I've seen both of these drivers have spins earlier on and still be at the top end of the spear. Despite that, I think it leads to the testament of their abilities when everything is going well. The question is, with Nicholas Maynard, I think now having reached the fuel margin, the lap times coming down pretty considerably. And Michael Doyen trying to hold on as best he can, but losing just 0.3 alone into the bus stop, having a more conservative line, braking a little bit earlier is costing him a little bit of time there. With only a 10th now separating those two drivers as they come around NASCAR 3 and 4. I so wonder if Nicholas Maynard is not going to be looking to make a move here on the inside and is waiting. Is going to try to take the inside line here. Michael Doyen going to go up to the outside to get it done or keep that line going. Nicholas Maynard, I think, is just going to pick off the inside of that corner and slide on through. Michael Doyen keeping to his line and will lose out the spot as a result, but the two of them not going to try to leave too much on the table and keep up with them as they go. Luc Plaisance getting out on track again. Came back on. Maybe there was a incident IRL or a technical issue. Let's see. The end of the race. Taking a look at some data, just kind of getting a feel for where we're at. Patrick Cantrell's crash. No. Mr. Cantrell. The paint extraordinaire. Oh, too much rotation. Nope. Oh, there it is. Too much rotation. The curbing on the exit will do you in every time. Hits it square on the nose, so it's a little crunched, but it probably will be okay. As Patrick Cantrell keeps driving that wounded car between the two of them. Michael Doyen now in the hot seat to take another crack at Nicholas Maynard for the lead of the race. Has the look up the inside. Doesn't have the speed to get alongside to make it happen. Tucks back in and stays with him for another lap. Let's see how those two develop. Speaking of developing races, Richard Costanza slowly getting chased down by one Kevin Hayes for overall positions. Richard Costanza leading by 11 seconds to the good of Chris Kraus for GT3M. And Richard Costanza is going to let him on by. As these two work their way through, Richard Costanza going to hang out and try to see what he can learn from Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes setting his personal best lap of this race as well. These two are just tearing off into the sunset, but still only 0.3 separate the two of them. Right along board with Michael Doyen as he's getting out of the Le Mans chicane or the bus stop. Michael Doyen, don't fail me now. Another look as we get into, what does Chopper 3 do? Oh, so the Chopper, late lunge for the lead of the race. Well, that is in fact a Chopper cam. I guess I shouldn't be surprised at what I expected there. We'll see him take over the lead from Nicholas Maynard. The two of them not finished with this battle for the lead of the race, especially as they continue on, both getting quicker this time by. Be interesting to see what the lap times look like. But lap times don't make up a battle on their own. Meanwhile, Dan Griffin in the background of this, almost looking like someone who wants to is unsure if he should join a bar fight. Is standing there watching and waiting for the time to kind of capitalize on this gap here. Is squeezing down Dan Griffin and Nicholas Maynard. Both have worked together earlier in this race, and will probably do so later on as well, would be my guess if I had to. Maynard in the same position as Michael Doyen was the previous lap. We'll see the two of them probably do the same thing they did last time. Nicholas Maynard not going to go for the inside look this time by, going to hang out behind Michael Doyen. Both of them pulling away from Dan Griffin just a little bit. That gap ebbing and flowing, but sitting around 3 seconds. Nick Terrell making up more and more time, still up 12 positions from where he started this race in the overall order. We have a total of 8 cars not taking to the checkered flag tonight, and Kyle Orovets slapped with a black flag amongst it all. Now, the question I think I would have, that I would like to pose for the closing a stage is when do we stop trading for first place, and when do the elbows start coming out? Coming up, I believe, on Matt Markley, who is a little bit slower than them. The rest of the field, Dan Griffin in third, Nick Terrell in fourth, Dejan Tovar in fifth, Andres Alba sixth, Kevin Hayes in seventh, Richard Costanza leading off GT3 AM in eighth overall, first in his class, followed by Chris Kraus, who's closing down that gap by seconds slowly at a time with 15 minutes remaining. I wonder, but I don't think he'll have the pace to make up to reach Richard Costanza at this moment. Tyler Roberts, Nate Size, Patrick Cantrell, Matthew Markley, Zachary Holden, Tom Leeson, Luke Plaisance, Jason Scott, Hayden Mamenga, Joshua Harless, DJ McAteer, Matthew Markley is the individual that was spun on the outside of that corner there, and that cost Michael Doyen the pass there. But deep drive for Nicholas Maynard on the outside of the corner. We'll see him still within a stone's throw of Michael Doyen for the overall lead. One thing I love about this is that we have this style of racing this late in the race, and the battle between these two is bringing Dan Griffin back into the fight for the overall lead as well as the win. Oh, man. You got to be very careful on that exit there. the gap, I think, might finally, I would say almost might finally, but I don't think actually it is, as that gap closing down slowly as Michael Doyen looking to re-spark the battle between the two of them after trying to avoid Matt Markley, costing him that spot for the moment, but one he can get back very easily. He tucks in, hangs out with them. Luke Plaisant's going to hang out with Dan Griffin as Dan Griffin gets by to rejoin this fight as well. Only 1.5 seconds separating him from Michael Doyen. Luke Plaisant's labeled as crashed because of his lift to allow the rest of those drivers through. Unless he did actually crash. Let's take a look. I don't think he did, but I may be wrong. We'll find out. Oh, nope. That's a slide. And that's a crunch. And that is right as those two got around. All right. Let's see if I can hop on board with Dan Griffin, who now will see both of them from where he is. And this Lamborghini Huracan. I think I might need to drive this more. Just I want to see what it's like. If I remember correctly, the Huracan GT3 is a V12 naturally aspirated GT3 car, which is super fun. It's not every day you get to have a GT3 car like this. Oh, PC. Didn't like that, so I'm just going to leave that be. All right. Michael Doyen closes right back down, and Nicholas Maynard there for the lead of the race, but will stay in second for the time being. Evo 2, technically. But there's also a new one coming out in real life, if I remember correctly, which this is not. V10, sorry, not a V12. There we go. Meanwhile, as I was looking up the specs on the Lamborghini Huracan GT3, because I needed to know, Dan Griffin now within a second of these drivers that are here battling it out for the lead. Which means we have a three-way fight for the podium, and all these spots are up for grabs. And Nick Terrell is only 5 seconds behind, so if something happens, Nick Terrell has a chance at a podium amongst all this. Rest of the field pretty spread out. I think we're following the closest action on track is these three drivers, two of which driving for the same team, and then one Michael Doyen with Doyen Plumbing driving in between them and Veterans. Sorry, one Michael Doyen for Veterans United, who is sponsored by Doyen Plumbing. There we go. Is in the mix of the three of them as they get into the final 10 minutes. A mad dash for these three drivers to the sprint and to find out where they will be ending up on the podium at the end of the shakedown tonight. I'm also excited. This is just the shakedown. We're not even in the regular season yet, which means it can only go up from there. And ideally, we get a co-commentator up and with me. One Mr. Osborne. Oh, just the air you get off of those sausage curbs. But that does not deter Michael Doyen, or excuse me, doesn't deter Dan Griffin or Michael Doyen. Dan Griffin closing in now. Michael Doyen a little ways away. I wonder if there is a bit of driving there. Luke Poisson's coming on the radio. Taking a look once more through the data, where everybody's at, what's going on. Chris Kraus getting closer and closer to Richard Costanza, but I don't know that he'll get enough time down before the end of the race to make a bid for the GT3 AM victory. Meanwhile, Michael Doyen, I think, oh man, especially with a couple of hiccups there, definitely going to be taking his battle and fighting more with, well, I would say fighting more with Dan Griffin, but I think it's the two of them trying to catch up to Nicholas Maynard, who slowly begins to eke more of a gap out between himself and Michael Doyen as they get into the closing stages. Probably, if I had to guess, about 4 laps left. Let's see where it ends up. This is the spot I saw Nicholas Maynard gain the most time on Michael Doyen the past few laps, but this way it has seemed to go almost in the favor of Michael Doyen as the two of them are getting through it, and Dan Griffin keeping close, I'd say close proximity, keeping in lockstep for those that like that verbiage. I'm not sure I'm one of them, but I don't dislike it. We'll see these three continue their bid for the podium positions. Michael Doyen coming for a shallow line, gets the job continued to be done though. Dan Griffin forced to slide behind Michael Doyen, almost going a little bit defensive into this first hairpin here, which may give him a little bit of a gap between himself and Nicholas Maynard up ahead. Doesn't look like that's really the case though. It was a thought I had, but not a thought that pays out on paper. And instead, it shows the two of them continuing to battle within 4/10 of each other as they go through the second hairpin on the infield sector. A little bit of a slower line for Michael Doyen that time, though. A few tenths gained by Nicholas Maynard, a few tenths lost by Michael Doyen to Dan Griffin. Joshua Harless has crashed. Take a quick look there. I'm going to do the classic thing that I've seen them do a good number of times. Oh, just a little bit too much rotation for Joshua Harless. Keeps it out of the wall, though. Gets it able to be turned around. And meanwhile, Michael Doyen still in this fight with Nicholas Maynard and Dan Griffin. Kevin Hayes up now behind Andre Saba for P6 as well. And Zachary Scott, I think, defending, or excuse me, trying to get to Tom Leeson, who finds himself back up in the third despite the crazy incident earlier he had with Luke Poissons, excuse me. So, and unfortunately, a whole lap behind his next competitor in class, but still in third. Nicholas Maynard getting the fastest lap of the race, his most recent time by for himself with the 1:44.67. That is not the fastest lap of the race, though, with the fastest going to the 1:44. I think it's 6:2. Where are you at, Kevin Hayes? Oh, wasn't you. That looks like it could be the fastest, then. Why is it not purple, then? I don't know. Anyway, Dan Griffin, 2/10 behind Michael Doyen. Michael Doyen losing a little bit of time to Nicholas Maynard. I think Nicholas Maynard just found his fuel number and is able to stretch his legs just a little bit. Meanwhile, Andre Saba defending from Kevin Hayes into the first corner. The two of them were less than a tenth apart as Kevin Hayes made the look around the outside. That car That McLaren weaving and swerving just a little bit as he tries to find the grip into the first hairpin they go. We'll ride along board with Kevin Hayes because I think that'll be a fantastic way to view this battle. We'll do the roof cam. It's been a while since we've done roof cam. It's in like a few minutes, but the two of them continue to duke it out. Oh, look at how much slip angle is going into that car. Having to catch it. I'm sure if we hopped onto the roll bar, we could see the fast hands at work. Speaking of, let's see some fast hands at work. Oh, a little more tame now, but jumping up, Michael Doyen, Dan Griffin, battling it out for P2. Dan Griffin has the inside line after a great exit. Sees him slide up ahead. Michael Doyen ceding the position finally to Dan Griffin and working his way around. Now he's going to look to try to repay the favor as he continues. Jason Scott getting his fastest lap of the race, 146.91. DJ McTeer is going to get a black flag, probably for an incident limit, which I think we'll see him dig a drive-through penalty, depending on if he enters his pit box or not. Luc Plaisance battling it out with Jason Scott. Speaking of, not for in-class position, but for overall spots. That's the battle between between Andre Saba and Kevin Hayes. Heats up one more. Kevin Hayes being forced to take the outside line. Andre Saba taking a very shallow line to defend that position. Joshua Harless getting the fastest lap in class for the GT3 AM drivers of a 145.87. Showing you the disparity between these three drivers as the time goes on. Michael Doyen and Dan Griffin, or excuse me, Michael Doyen and Nick Terrell getting on the radio between each other as the two of them converse probably about the battle earlier. These two still in a few tenths of each other. Andre Saba finding a little bit of pace here. And Dan Griffin, this battle for the lead still within a second of each other. Within a few tenths of each other in a second in total as they come around the start-finish stretch once more, with this being, I believe, the white flag this time by. If I look at my grid, yeah, you can see that white flag wave up in the air as these three get into it. Oh, Nick and Dan Griffin, of course, as soon as I look away. Nicholas Maynard labeled as crashed in this sector. What happened? Dan Griffin goes for the look on the inside line. Nicholas Maynard goes to dive in, and they come into contact as the two of them do that, and then they get bumped by Michael Doyen, who is not expecting to stop there from Dan Griffin. Michael Doyen missing the front bumper, finds himself at the tip of the spear. Dan Griffin setting the fastest lap of the race, his most recent time by, with a 144.59. Can he make up the gap between himself and Michael Doyen in a lapse time? Additionally, can Kevin Hayes and can Andre Saba defend from Kevin Hayes for one more lap? We'll have to find out. The damaged front end definitely going to cause, I think, a little bit of slowness here in the faster sections. The question is, will it be enough? I'm excited. This is like great stuff. Oh, neither. I wonder if there's not engine damage amongst all that, because that gap is only growing, and I thought it would go the other direction. We'll have to see. Going through the Le Mans chicane one last time. That damaged front wing may cause a little bit of issues. Does not cause them for Michael Doyen, though. Dan Griffin gets a good run there to keep that gap at least closed down. Andre Saba finding the wall as well amongst all that. Take a look at that in here in just a moment. As Michael Doyen holds on to take home the win here in just a moment. See him swerving up and down the line as he crosses the line, and first Dan Griffin going to come home in second, 7 tenths behind him. Nick Terrell going to round out the podium in the third. Nicholas Maynard coming home in fourth after that spin for the lead of the race. I want to see what happened to Kevin Hayes and Andre Saba. Oh, 2 and 3 going side by side, and this is going to be into the hairpin. I wonder what happens here. A bit, no contact there. There is the... Oh, gives him the space. And I wonder what happens if this is just too much effort, not enough lift, because he he's doing fine here. Oh, late in the braking and doesn't spin it on its own. Oh, gives too much rotation, though, when trying to apply the power, which will cause him to spin out as he's trying not to run into Kevin Hayes, who comes home in 6th. All right. Tyler Roberts working his way around for the final lap, as well as Nate Sides and Patrick Cantrell, who are still wrapping up their races. GT3AM sees Richard Costanza come home to take the win. A fantastic double win in class for Veterans United, despite the craziness. I think this is going to be a heck of a season if this is how Shakedown goes. So, with the last couple of our drivers coming home to take the checkered flag for the Shakedown race, 90 minutes of endurance racing has elapsed. And I think it's going to make for an interesting hallmark to the season if this is how we're starting out. I got to wonder if Veterans United is not at least a little proud of the off-season work they did, given that it was, I think, pretty well deserved, especially this burnout that we see here from Richard Costanza for the class win here. And I wonder if we're going to see some donuts out of Patrick Cantrell. Damn, my second stint was fast. Still only finished with the other leader. And when I crashed, and actually stopped for a fast repair. You know, I think I'm excited to see how much we continue to say that the meta is the problem and not the spin and crash. Nope, that's odd. That's not the right way. And there's everyone doing a litany of burnouts for their success. Definitely a meta issue. Yep, definitely a meta issue. There, Kevin Hayes. With that, we come to the results. That's GT3 AM. First, we'll go to the GT3 Pro. Michael Doyen got to come home with that win after the late race incident between Dan Griffin and Nicholas Maynard. The teammates coming together knocks them both off that top step. Nick Terrell kind of squeezed into the 3rd position after riding in 4th for most of the last 20 minutes. Nicholas Maynard coming in 4th after recovering from the spin. Dion Tuvar running out the top 5. Kevin Hayes in 6th. Andre Saba, Tyler Roberts, Nate Sides, and Patrick Cantrell, the top 10. Followed by Matthew Markley, Luke Plaisance are your 12 finishers. Mitch Buenaventura, Jason Larson, oh my gosh, English. Jonathan Schwartz, Matt Bear, yeah, good English. William Lemaster are the 17 drivers there. So, of GT3 Pro, GT3 AM is going to see Richard Costanza take home that win, 8 seconds ahead of Chris Kraus, who was trying to close the gap but unable to do so. Tom Leeson finishing in 3rd despite the huge incident he had. So a great recovery drive there. Zachary Holden, Jason Scott, rounding out the top 5. Hayden Mamenga, Joshua Harless, DJ McAteer are the 8 drivers that come home to take the checkered flag. Kyle Orovitz, Landon Orr, Ken Duvall, Tim Schaefer, and Colin Olson are the 13 GT3 AM drivers that come home this evening. A heck of a race. Let's see what post-race interviews I can grab people from. Can I? Well, that makes too much sense. All right. Let's see here. I think that's about do it. We'll round up this week. And then we will come back next week when we have our first full week of racing. And this is going to be a heck of a season if this is how the Shakedown is panning out. We'll have to see what more is in store for us next time by. Actually, you know what? Heck it.
Yeah, I was doing the 7.7.
I've joined
So
you.
it was tough. I was quick in the corners, but
Mike, we got double yanked into the
I pulled both of you in. Sorry.
Oh, didn't even realize it.
Yep. Congrats on the win, both of you. I was going to do a quick one.
Thank you. Thanks, Fen.
Heck of a drive out of you, really out of both of y'all, for this. Are you excited for the new season?
Yeah, absolutely. This year we're taking like a slightly different approach where we're spreading ourselves across a couple more racing series, so we're definitely going to be a little bit more busy. But
what else are you driving in addition to the Porsche GT3s we see here on Tuesday nights?
So we are attempting to make a more special events this year, more of the iRacing special events, of course. Yeah. Okay. And then we were looking into, I think it's the IMSA series. It's like every weekend, that series. So it's a different set of tracks that we'll have.
The endurance series?
Yes.
Yeah. Every other weekend, alternating with the Global Endurance Tour, which are both endurance races. But yes.
Yep. So yeah, just getting into it.
That should be fun.
Yeah, that was a great shakedown. I was so happy to see. I think we had 30 cars on the grid, so it's nice to see that again.
I think we'll see even more next week. I think it's going to be a very cool season to see a bunch of GT3s really rip and have some close battles. So,
yeah,
I'm excited for that. I wasn't sure because I was looking at the team registration the other day, and it didn't seem like there was a lot of people. And then when I was getting in the room tonight, Rich said there was like 30 people in here, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!"
Yeah, so we'll see how next week goes. I get the feeling we'll see a good portion of these drivers back next week, in addition to a bunch of our regulars who didn't make the shakedown as we're getting just out of the holiday season. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let y'all get back to it. I just want to give you guys quick congratulations, give you guys a quick interview. Anything we missed from the broadcast that we want to talk about as a celebratory bit?
No, just happy to be back on track together. You know, like you saw, we put in a lot of time in the off season, just spending time together, working things out, and just excited for season 13.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man,
Michael.
Intense, dude. That whole thing. I'm sweating like a pig right now. That whole race was intense.
It looked like it.
I just want to give a shout out to you, to be honest. Thank you for all your work coming in here, doing what you do. You do a good job.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier when I'm just talking about it. It's not that I don't see it as that difficult of a thing to do. I think it'd be a lot harder for me to be where you were, or where you were, either you, Michael, or Richard, for leading the class and trying to keep it consistent when everything is going crazy around you. You're dodging cars that have spun out, and trying to still find a little bit of time there to keep up with drivers that are equal to your skill level. So it's a different skill, I suppose, but
yeah. But one of our favorite things to do after a race is to go back and watch, and your commentary is what makes it better for us. So your work is always appreciated.
Well, I'm happy to be of service in that regard then. So I will endeavor to keep up. It might be a little bit more crazy this week, this year, or this season, I should say. Marcus will be back, I think, for the rest of the season is going to be the hope. So it'll be a little bit less just me talking about racing, and a little bit more of Marcus probably talking about whatever Marcus wants to talk about in addition to us racing. Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit more old school OMEC for what it's worth. But absolutely. I look forward to having more post-race success interviews with y'all as the season continues, because the off-season work definitely seems like it's paid off for y'all. So
thanks, buddy.
Look forward to it as well.
Hell yeah. All right. Now I'll let you guys get back to your celebration.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Again.
All right, Fen. Thanks, Fen. Happy New Year.
You as well. All right. And that was Rich Costanza and Michael Doyen for the respective class wins. Quick one. I say quick. It was like, anyway, next week when we come back, we'll be back here to round out the evening, much like we are tonight. But we're going first to Mosport for our first sprint week of the calendar, which is two 30-minute races, one at Mosport and then one back here at the Daytona Road Course at night. The whole 8X Sun thing that Marcus put in the broadcasters chat, by the way, this is a bit of a behind the curtain thing, I don't think existed. I'm pretty sure that was not a real thing. So just so you know, Marcus, whenever you watch this back, if you watch this back, that I didn't see it. So anyhow, I'll let you all get to your evening, And congrats again to all the winners and all the drivers here. It's going to be, man, this season's going to be so great. If this is how Shakedown goes, it's going to be a good, solid season as we get into it. And I'm looking forward to all the racing on track. So I have been Fettuccini once again, giving you all the racing action in the booth. Next week, ideally, barring any more craziness, Marcus Osborne will be in the booth with me to give you all the racing action here at Osborne Motors Endurance Challenge. So thank you all very much for watching. Have a good evening, and we'll see you all then. If I can hit the buttons. Bye-bye. Maybe. All right.